Now, Navinder Singh Sarao, the British trader accused of helping to cause the flash crash in 2010, was granted bail of £5 million while he fights extradition to the US. Conditions of the bail include that he sleeps at his parents' home in Hounslow, a West London suburb. Ryan Chilcote is there for a second day. Ryan, good morning. What else do we know?
Good morning, Mark. Well, we also know that other conditions include he has to be at his home between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. That's just to ensure that, of course, he is sleeping at the family home here in this West London suburb. Additionally, he has to report 3 times a week to the police station here in Hounslow. He has forfeited his passport. And, of course, as you said, he has to pony up that £5 million bail. We spoke with his lawyer yesterday and says he does have the £5 million in addition to another £100,000 roughly in some betting accounts he has. Though it's not entirely clear, Mark, that he has actually posted bail just yet. A lot of reporters already this morning turning up again here in West London waiting for Mr. Sarao to appear in front of them. Mark?
And what more are we learning about his trading practices?
Well, you know, we are learning that he's been trading for a very long time at his home, but also at trading outfits, including one outside of London in the city of Woking, where he worked when he was in his 20s. But, I mean, he is a day trader with significant amount of experience. Now, what has happened over the last 24 hours is people have begun to ask the question of who's really to blame here. Criminal charges aside that the U.S. Has opened against him. Is it the regulators or is it Mr. Sarao himself? It's a conversation happening in the marketplace. A lot of people say Mr. Sarao was just a lone trader, a day trader, and, you know, is it really fair to blame him for causing an entire market collapse? Was he really capable of that? What about the regulators? What about the individuals running the markets that Mr. Sarao was operating on, like the futures market run by the CME stateside in Chicago? And there are a couple of questions. For example, on the penalty side, there was another individual that was found engaging in this so-called spoofing and layering, where you place a trade without the intention of ever executing it to push the market in one direction or another. He was effectively doing something very similar to what Mr. Sarao has been accused of between 2010 and 2011. He was caught, and his fine was $150,000. And he was banned for trading for 1 month. There are a lot of people now, and you could read about this in a very good editorial in the Financial Times, saying, you know, is that enough of a sanction? And then there are questions about whether this could have been caught earlier. We do know some somewhat disturbing facts. For example, from the affidavit, the U.S. prosecutors allege that Mr. Sarao was actually contacted by CME in March of 2010. In other words, 2 months before the flash crash, and he was told that he must ensure that his trades are indeed bona fide trades and not sort of these ghost trades where the trade actually never happens. It's just meant to move the price of an instrument. And he was even contacted on May the 6th, 2010, the day of the flash crash, and yet he continued on trading, and according to the affidavit, even had the gall, if you will, to later that month, in May of 2010, tell his broker, you know, I called those guys at CME and I told them to kiss my you-know-what. So there's a lot of questions about, you know, what the responsibility is, say, at CME and at these markets in general, but also the federal government, the United States, the regulators. What are they doing to make sure that the markets are safe, not vulnerable to these kinds of things, and being accurately or well regulated? Mark?
Ryan, thank you. We'll speak to you again later. Ryan Chilcote in Hounslow today.